think I'm going to do the recap this time around because it's been a while and lots of other games have happened, and I don't know how well y'all remember all the stuff. So, you had just brought Achiko, the little slug girl, to the Padakage's mansion of the home. Shiori took a little bit of time to learn her language, Achiko's language, a little bit, more so than anyone else had, which is why she wrote a letter specifically that only you could read. You spent the night in the Padakage's mansion. You woke up, had some coffee, trained with the military shinobi that the Padakage had, that he was wanting help with. You saw Minori? Yeah. You saw Minori, the girl that the very charismatic lady that was also there.
I don't remember.
She had very nice charismas. That was the thing. That was a session or two ago. So, you went out to train with the other ninja, and then you saw something coming to the mansion very fast. Thinking it was attack, you went on defensive mode. Shiori making shadow clone skin armor walls to try to stop whatever was charging. She succeeded with the first one, and realized that what was starting was a turtle. A ninja turtle. And in so doing, you encountered an unconscious Kineso, who was someone that Tsume had seen when she was missioning for Mitsu, who was a very talkative and childlike sort, even though he was very much a strong and gruff looking individual. He had carried a tank of water on his back at the time that Tsume was encountering him, and was very sad to learn that the tank had been destroyed, and was needing to rebuild another one after he recovered from the poison that Shiori helped save him from, that he doesn't even know he was poisoned by, which is a good thing. You then left Kineso to recover, went down to check on Achiko, finding that she had escaped again. Found the letter that she had left behind that only Shiori could understand, and then followed her as she was heading north to go to the boat that her tribe had started basically coming down from. It was deemed in the letter that Achiko had reasoned that Tsume was capable of summoning, and knowing that, didn't really feel comfortable with Tsume approaching the rest of her tribe, and Tsume reluctantly went along with this, leading to where we are now, which is Tsume and Shiori Tsume and Shima sitting in the snow as they watch Shiori get on the boat with Achiko, and who a satyr-looking individual that came down to greet Achiko as she got close to the boat. This is going to be a potential moment when the two characters will split up, being Tsume and Shiori. But I didn't want this first session of a potential split to not have that chance where things could go in a slightly different direction. So this is actually going to be sort of a half and half session. I'm going to do bits specifically with Shiori that she encounters while she's on the boat, and then something to happen with Tsume while she's waiting in the snow, and then we'll see what transpires and if Tsume is able to or how Tsume reacts, and whether or not she decides she wants to try to chase a warboat. So with that, we're going to start off with camera sort of focuses in on the aftermath of seeing this satyr-like individual with the large and aggressive-looking ram's horns comes down and speaks to Machiko, and he's basically he looks at Shiori, which this guy's probably an easy like 6'2", 6'4". So
oh god.
compared to Shiori, he's kind of tall.
Yeah.
I think Shiori's only like what, 5 foot?
She's
something.
5'4".
Yeah, 5'4". So he's got a foot on you easily.
Yeah.
And not just in horns.
Right.
But he sort of looks down to Shiori for a moment and then turns to Achiko, and he's speaking to her in their language, which Shiori's you've encountered enough, and in talking to Achiko, that you can sort of piece together from both his demeanor and what you do know and understand. And he's comes down and he's, Achiko, you were followed. Why? What are you trying to do? And then Achiko responds herself with let me find, or Achike, not Achiko. Sorry. Okay. She looks to Shiori for a second, and then, Sir, I feel like she would be able to help us. What we were told when we came here, we weren't given all the proper information. There's something else going on that has compromised this mission as we currently had it. We need a mediator. We need someone to try to help us to understand what's going on and not just outright attack. And then the satyrs, you know the commander's not going to agree with that. He's especially not going to want a little human girl trying to stow away on the boat. In fact, the only reason he hasn't left yet is because you weren't back. I had to convince him to stay because I knew that you would return eventually. You can get out of anything.
Excuse me?
I'm assuming you're saying that in, like, their tongue.
Yeah.
You come in with that, and the satyr sort of looks at you like, the fuck? What? And Achike actually smiles and goes, she took a little bit of time to actually learn our language. She actually cares. And then he's still just looking at you, giving you the floor, but looking at you.
So she goes, I wasn't planning to stow away. I was going to ask.
He does that sort of like, he basically just does that sort of like acknowledging grunt sort of sound. He's like, the commander's not going to really let you stay. I can tell you that right now. If you...
I think I have some kind of way to earn it. Whether you need healing or an extra hand to fight off whatever's out there in the sea, or... Have we fought sea monsters before?
No,
I'm pretty sure we have.
You haven't really
We
actually...
fought something.
You fought on the sea before, but it was like raiders from another boat. You haven't actually fought any sort of...
Oh, okay. Pirates! That's right. We can fight off pirates.
He raises an eyebrow at that, and then just sort of looks to the boat.
I may be small, but I'm very powerful.
I'm sure that Woolachi would appreciate the help. I don't know if even that's going to convince the commander. But... And then he sort of looks to Achike again, and he's... I guess you've done something to lead to Achike trusting you. And out of anyone I know, she's the best judge of character, so... If you know what you're doing... And Achike just sort of timidly nods like a, yeah, I hope so.
Like one of those, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to smile and nod.
Yeah, kind of. And then he just sort of shrugs and, well, he's in his barracks, his chambers right now on the boat, so we won't have to encounter him at first. But if news spreads from the... Wait, what am I saying? He sort of looks up to the rest of the people on the boat, like you see, now that you're closer, Shiori, you see that there's all manner of like animal types on this boat. Some where the animal features are obvious, like his horns, and some people have wings, like raven wings, or like a browner sort of hawk style to a wing. And then there's people with tails. It looks like a ship full of faunas is what it looks like. And he sort of looks up to the others that are looking down to him for like some sort of approval. Commander's not to know that she's here until absolutely necessary. Got it? And then like 4 of the guys that are closest to the edge of the boat salute. And then he indicates for you to follow him onto the boat. Over this way. And do you follow them? Or follow him?
Shiori's going to, like, glance back at Tsume. And, like, you know, one of those, like one of those scenes where, like, the one character is, like, leaving another one, like, not behind, but, like, they're splitting up, and she just kind of, like, looks back at Tsume for a minute, and then she turns to go up onto the boat.
The satyr sort of looks to you and looks back and sees Tsume off in the distance. And he raises an eyebrow and then looks to Achike, and Achike just sort of looks at him and goes, yeah, a bit of debriefing will probably be necessary. And he...
It's alright, I asked her not to follow, so I hope she'll listen to me.
grabs the rope that is dropped down. They climb back up. You guys climb back up onto the boat. And at this, I'm going to put all your sprites here on the boat, even though I don't have a thing for inside the boat at the moment. At this established in chat of grump, 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 we cut back to Tsume sitting in the snow with Shima, with this like upset grump face, as Shiori follows the two of them and climbs up into the boat. And what she is mostly your character as well, Sam. So, what is Shima's overall demeanor to this? Is it the same as Sume's?
A bit. She's like, she's actually more worried. Sumi's just grump.
So Shima's,
Shima is, like, has a worry and her tail's, like, flicking and stuff. Just like, Because her favorite person to cook her fish is leaving.
Right, okay.
I do cook the best fish.
As she tries to heal it.
So Shima, because you can talk to Shima now.
Yeah.
So Shima sort of looks. We cut back to Tsume and see the two of them, and Shima just sort of looks off and sees Shiori climb on the boat. And do you really think she'd be okay?
How long was I gone and I was just she was okay without me. Well, granted, she had another partner.
Right. We don't really know anything about these people, do we?
No.
She has the lightning thing, so if she gets into real trouble, she can just shoot up like a lightning bolt, right?
I guess. I mean,
if you would, Tsume,
I was gonna say, can I take a look around?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can do a spot and listen check if you like.
25 for my spot. 6 for my listen. And then you roll for Shima as well. 18 for her spot. And then 14 for her listen. So.
Okay. So you sort of take a look around. Are you looking mostly around in the primary direction of the boat, or are you looking like just in general?
I mean, she's mainly staring off at the boat, but every now and then she'll just take a look around.
Okay. The area that you are in is sort of like an icy beach, sort of a snowy, icy beach. So you have the equivalent of like sand dunes, but made partially by snow, and sort of hilly, you know. And in looking around, you and Tsume catch, just for the briefest moment, you see a very, it appears to be very small. It's extremely low to the ground. Like movement shadow that is like moving through the snowy dunes. It doesn't appear to be heading in any particular direction. It looks more like it's sort of, in a weird way, patrolling, but it's very, very short and small.
I guess Shumi's going to get up and go look at the spot where she last saw it.
Right, where you last see it come through. And getting a closer look, and moving closer, having actually noticed it, you don't hear any noise. It's not like footsteps or anything moving through the snow. In fact, you look, and where it's moving, there's no forms of tracks at all, at least from the current path that it took. You're sort of watching, and you've gotten a closer look to actually find it, and whatever it is, it hasn't noticed you yet. And it looks a lot like a shrouded figure. It looks like the hood and lower part of a cloak, but all you're seeing is the top part of the cloak. So it's as if somebody's chopped off the top part of the cloak and is covering them almost completely with it.
Can I, like, is like a bit of the cloak just like sliding against the
it looks
snow?
more like the cloak is flowing through the snow.
Well, I was gonna say I wanted Sume to like go and try to step on a bit of the cloak.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, you catch up to it, and you step on the cloak, and it stops, and then the cloak sort of pulls away, and you see what looks to be a person. Oddly enough, just the upper torso and head of a person, but a person. And they turn and damn, and then they rise up out of the snow, and they are a female, roughly, probably about Shiori's height, actually, about 5'4". And she just sort of rises out of the snow. I guess I wasn't as quiet as I thought I'd be. And they sent somebody else out here.
You were quiet. I could see you moving.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose hooded cloak and did match the color of the... Yeah, okay. So, that Kineso guy really had a point then, I guess. I'm usually venturing around at dark at night. This mission in the middle of the daytime in the snow is not really my thing. But they sent somebody else out here. Kid, even.
Spooky. Excuse me. This is a tiger and her pet child.
Hey. She's gonna sit there and ask, so why did they send you out here?
I do what I'm good at. I'm scouting. I'm looking. Seeing what I can figure out about. And then she looks over towards the boat.
Well, we already have someone up on the boat to find out what they're doing here.
I saw that. Interesting. I guess the other people doing recon for him were too slow, so the Podokage sent a bunch of kids. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, he did.
She raises an eyebrow looking at you.
Yep, Podokage sent us. Sure.
And she sort of
Don't ask any questions. Part of our orders. You can't ask the Podokage questions. Oh god.
She sort of rolls her shoulder a little bit, and Tsume, you spot. You couldn't really see it at first when she sort of pulled her way out of the snow, but because of her cloak and the way it was shrouding it. But when she goes to roll her shoulder, it's sort of like she's drawing a weapon, but instead of actually drawing it, you just sort of see part of it and hear it. And you actually realize that she's got a great bow, like an actual bow and arrow bow. That is.
She has a great bow.
Yep.
This is a tiny person. How can they be hiding a great bow?
You don't know, but she did.
Okay.
Ken.
Sumi gets a little suspicious, like.
Okay. So, if you're... Well, you came from the village, or at least from the mansion, I guess. So, did you happen to see, if, what's his face, Kaneso made it back?
Turtle Man?
Oh, yeah.
This is out of character.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he made it back at the extent of help.
She, looks towards the boat, looks back to the village. Well, we've already got somebody else doing in-person recon on the boat. You only have to have somebody like me just watching it all day. And as much as Turtle Man, or no, you said that was out of character. As much as Kaneso was not the best company, he talked too damn much.
Yeah, and he seemed to have gotten into a fight.
Yeah, a fight that he only got away from because I helped.
I thought it was his turtle that helped.
He was... The turtle was more or less the exit strategy by the end of it, but...
So how did you get away?
How did I what?
How did you get away from the fight?
I wasn't even in the melee in the first place. Kaneso handled all that himself. He's a big guy, in case you didn't notice.
Yeah, but he lost his tank.
Yeah, he did. That was his fault.
So, how did he get into the fight?
Well, he may be a big guy, but he's not very discreet. He was spotted. Somebody came out here and attacked him. A fight ensued. I helped from a distance. That's what I do. And he wasn't doing so hot. They messed him up something fierce. And then that turtle, the actual turtle, Pomelo, I think was his name or something. Ganesu told me about him even before he summoned him. Pomelo was summoned and was helping in the actual fight for a bit, and then Kineso falls unconscious, and just Pamelo's just like, I'm out of here. And away they went. So, and you may have noticed me, sure, but usually, if I want to disappear, I can disappear. And as soon as Pamelo and Kineso went away, I vanished. And so, the animal people
You
were
become
more worried
a
about
moving snowdrift.
Look, I was taking a look around. The only reason I was above ground was because I was taking a look around.
Okay.
And at that, she actually just sort of does a few hand signs, snaps her fingers, and sinks into the snow and disappears. And then she pops her head back up and goes, if I want to disappear, I can disappear.
Okay.
And you notice that there's no, as if it wasn't indicated from how she moved around, there is no form of visible movement of the snow when she does that. Like nothing. She just is gone.
Ooh, she has the good version of that one, doesn't she?
Wait, what is it? I don't know what the technique is.
It's a snow walking technique.
Oh.
It's not snow. It's not snow walking actually. It's
No, oh, it's fuck, what is it?
underground displacement.
Yeah, that's it.
It is what Kakashi did in the show when he, in the early part of the series, when he came out of the ground and pulled Sasuke into the snow, into the ground up to his head. Remember when he disappears under the ground and then pops back up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. It's just most people that you've seen, that Tsume's encountered so far, if they've had that move, they've usually made some form of tunnel or cave as they've moved around. She's mastered it to the point where she just doesn't leave nothing behind. So, I guess for whoever that was that went up on the boat, you're the lookout for her, huh?
I'm worried about her. She originally didn't want me to come along.
Well, I suppose I have company now.
I guess, but I don't have any fancy hiding techniques like you do. I like how it's like she sunk back down into the ground and is just poking out a little bit, and it just looks like Tsume is just sitting there talking to the ground.
Yeah. She sort of smirks, and well, I have a knack for it, and when I'm under the ground all the way, I just sort of she sort of looks off towards the water, and it's like I told Kanesa, I just sort of swim through the dirt. So, would you fancy yourself a good swimmer?
That's a no for Shima, and a no for me.
Never really been in the water, huh?
Not really.
Okay.
We kind of live in a desert.
Not
Yeah,
there.
we live in the desert.
Although I guess Shima could pop up with that. Not that this girl would understand it, but
Shima would be like, we live in dust. Just like everything's just like very tiny dust.
okay. Well,
Sometimes you can catch the dust, and sometimes you can't catch the dust.
one of the key, if you've never really been on the water or in the water very much, one of the key things to being able to swim is strength and endurance. Feel like you have that?
I don't have much strength, but I guess.
I think Shima pops up with that and goes, "You can pick me up." What are you talking about?
Yeah, I have the strength to pick up things, but I don't have the...
I'm sorry, are you meowing?
Oh?
She sort of looks at Shima.
I can talk to my cat.
Huh. Interesting. Never really encountered that one before. Anyway, if you think you could handle it, we can treat it like swimming. And I can actually bring you down here with me.
Oh, what about air? And what about this? And she points at Shima.
Well, if you wait, let's see, what, about 10-15 minutes, I can actually carve out a little place for us underground if you want me to. I've done that before. That takes forever, but I can do it.
Oh, I can do that. I can just sit and stare at the boat.
Cool. I want to have to be as near as big a space like it was with when Kineso kept trying to ask me to build one for him.
No, you just have to compensate for her.
Alright. And then she starts to disappear back down into the ground again. Roll for me to listen.
19 for Tsume. 8 for Shima.
For Shima. I did this with listen, but this is just as much a listen as it is a sense of like vibrations in the snow, because the snow's not that densely packed, it's on sand dunes. So you kind of hear, now that you're close to where she is, you hear that she's actually doing what she said she was. She seems to be carving out, completely underground, completely submerged underground. She's carved out a space and is starting to carve out a space for you, for the three of you.
Okay.
And as she starts, she pops her head back up for a second, as if to sort of try to judge size and whatever. She's never made a space like this for a freaking full-grown tiger.
But she's not... Well... Oh,
Well,
yeah, she is kind of full-grown, isn't she?
Yeah. She sort of just looks Shima over for a moment and then goes, "By the way, you can call me Yane."
Okay.
And then she disappears back into the snow. Alrighty. Then we cut back to Shiori on the boat. As I said, you don't really see a whole lot of what was going on with Tsume. You're too focused on seeing, like, all manner of animal people all over this boat. And you see, I think, there are some that really catch your eye. The ones with the clearly present, like, avian wings. There's a few. There's at least one. Actually, yeah. There's only one. There's one that has a very visible, like, cattail. And You do also see people that are running around. They seem to be doing a lot of the legwork for the ship. And they're smaller than you are. And they don't appear to have any real animal features that you could see on their person. They appear to be wearing some form of like shaded glasses, and they're probably only like 4.5 feet tall. They're also super fast, and there's a bunch of them. Or well, not a bunch, but like 4 or 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they sort of give you. Some of them look at you. Most of them just continue doing what their job is on the boat. The satyr and Achike sort of lead you down into the like more the deeper into under the deck and into the boat itself. And you realize that this picture doesn't really do it justice. This boat is huge. This is like military grade vessel. This boat is meant to hold a decent chunk of people, and it has like designated spaces for like a kitchen and food and all this other.
Right. It's got a galley and all that.
Yeah, it reminds you very much like a oversized version of the ships that you rode when you were on sea for 6 days.
Yeah.
Because you've been on boats before, so.
Right.
And you go down into the bowels of the ship, so to speak, and you come to a door. It takes you a second really looking at the writing, but because you haven't really encountered a lot of the written language for this language yet. But roll for me, and I guess it's read language, because you do technically have skill points in that, I think. Do you technically have something to read right?
Let me see. I know I have speak.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, read and write. Yeah.
Okay. But it's not. So it's a D20 plus 1, because it doesn't come off as any kind of anything. Oh yeah.
19.
Okay, good job. So.
Thanks, RNG.
Yeah, really. You register that this symbol on the front of this door, it sort of reads as basically med bay, medical ward, something akin.
Oh.
And the satyr.
Shiori takes a minute and looks at it and then tries to sound it out slowly, and then she goes. She looks at oh god, I forgot her name. Fuck.
Achike?
Achike, is she around?
Oh yeah, she's still following
is she
you.
Also escorting me?
Yeah. Both her and the satyr are there.
Oh, okay. She looks at Achike and says, is this the medical area?
Mm-hmm. And Achike nods and and then the satyr sort of looks Shiori over for a second, and then goes, I'm going to warn you now. What sort of, how do you say, heat tolerance do you have?
What do you mean?
As if to answer what you mean, he pushes what he means. He pushes open the door, and just from being on the outside of the door, this medical room is extremely hot. It feels like a freaking sauna comes out and hits you.
Oh. Hey.
You also get the sense that, because you have sense chakra, You get the sense that the heat that's filled this room is chakra induced.
Ooh.
And then, do you like sort of shy away because like splurge of heat reflex, and then you look into the room itself and you see a bunch of like medical cots. A good little less than half of them actually have people in them. There's one that appears to be actually there's someone or a body laying in it, but it's actually still, whereas some of the others have actually have movement. And there's a few of the other very small boat workers that are moving around through it. But what clearly catches your attention is a about 6'1", 6'2" female that is also checking over the different cots, that has long, we're talking ruby character velvet rabbit ears.
Awesome. Funny.
And she turns to look as the door opens, and I was sort of picturing that since he opened the door, the satyr is the closest to the door, and then Achike is close to him, and I don't know if you wanted to be in front of Achike or behind her as you're running into
no,
the
Shiori
room.
is not. Shiori is not afraid.
Okay.
She's probably like standing, like, I imagine she like walked up to the door like to be able to get like a good look at it, and so she's standing like in front of the door, and then the satyr like pushes it open, and there's like both of them standing in the doorway, and then like Ajike is behind us.
Yeah, okay. The bunny lady turns and she sees the doorway open, and then she smiles real big, and then comes over to Achike, seeing her behind in the doorway. Let's see. She sort of comes in. She sees you, and Achike is not far from your own height, but Achike is still taller than you.
Right.
But you're the smallest person in the doorway right now.
Of course.
And she looks the two of them over, and then sees you, and then she sort of tilts her head, which looks adorable because of her ears, and she's like, "Well, you made it back, I guess." And what's with the little one here?
Hello.
Huh. Is that the only word you know?
No, I know plenty of them.
Good.
Why is this room so hot?
Nah. It helps to cleanse the air. And when people have high fevers, which happens a lot right now, or has been for some reason, the temperature in the room helps to bring their fever down. It's basically a sort of the weird science in it is if the room is too hot in like a sauna, then a lot of the dangerous bacteria that would be making people sick, and a lot of the poisons that she's been recently encountering just can't survive the heat.
Right.
So she makes it hot in the room, or she has, or at least that's what it seems like. Plus,
Right, but the problem is, like, fevers last longer in higher temperatures. And they also dehydrate you, which,
that was my own bad word choice there. Because I don't know enough about medical stuff, but her reasoning behind it is because it would kill some of the bacteria that she's been encountering.
Right.
And it also, Shiori can judge character even on this rabbit girl. It also appears that she just likes it.
That's fine. She can like it all she wants. It's not helping her patients. Shiori's gonna step in to the room.
Have you not heard the saying of sweating out a fever?
Yeah, but like that doesn't work. You need to lower your like ambient temperature and like keep your body cool so you don't overheat, and you also need to drink lots of water so that you don't like dehydrate and die.
Well, I mean, you have plenty of snow outside the boat to use.
Right. Exactly. Can I check on a couple of the patients?
Yeah, you can. According to Google, it says sweating out a fever is actually a thing. But
It's a thing people do, but
as long as it's not done at the risk of the patient, it's fine.
high temperatures can make a fever last longer and cause excessive sweating and can lead to dehydration. The room temperature should ideally be between 73 and 77.
Fair enough.
Wait, does little Shiori get up the nerve to tell this to the rabbit lady?
No, she's gonna check on the patients first. If they're okay, that's not a problem. If they're not in good condition, she's gonna go doctor mode real fast.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
So yeah, she steps into the room, it's 1,000 degrees. She hangs up her cloak immediately. Like whatever cold weather clothing I had. I don't remember what I was wearing last week. Visited with Shiori. So yeah. She hangs up her cloak. She goes to check on a couple of the patients, just like checking for dehydration and like that kind of thing.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me treat injury.
Sure. Treat injury. That's right. 30.
Nice. Yeah. You look over the individual patients and you go through, and at first, as you start sort of looking through them and investigating them, the rabbit lady just is sort of like, wait, whoa, and then the satyr like stops her hand from trying to approach you, and then are you tunnel visioning the doctor mode?
Tunnel visioning the patients to the point where like to move between beds she's using speed of lightning, so she's basically just like flickering between patients.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So we as the audience or whatever see the like non-verbal exchange between the rabbit lady and the satyr, but Shiori doesn't. So looking over with 30, the patients all do appear to be fine and recovering. You see that looking through over the patients, there's at least a couple that have been like they've been struck like with heavy blunt force blows of some sort. You almost wager that, like, based on the shape of the individual bruises, that it's like they were hit by a rock, but the like wound itself gives you, because you rolled decently high, the wound itself gives you the impression that either the person who was delivering this blow was super strong, or some other means, because those basically, it's wounds done by blunt force trauma, shaped like a rock, but it's extremely hard force.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, they're recovering just fine. And in looking at them, you actually find one of the smaller individuals, like the flunkies that was running around. And then you register why perhaps they're wearing shaded glasses, because this one's sort of he's a male, and he's sort of small, and he gets spooked when you come up, but you're clearly in doctor mode. But you see him looking into his eyes. He has compound eyes, like a bug.
Yeah. So she checks him over and at some point glances up at his face and just pauses and goes, "Oh." Oh.
He sort of looks at you, blinks a couple times, and hi.
Hi. Sorry, I don't mean to stare. I just haven't. I haven't seen anything like this before. I've seen a lot of strange eyes in my village, but this is the first.
You're moving around super fast like Miss Woolidge does. I guess you're a medic too, huh?
Oh, yeah, I am. She moves fast?
Mm-hmm.
Have I been moving fast? She, looks back and, sees all the people she's seen and goes, "Oh, I guess I must have started that up at some point."
He actually smiles at that. And he goes, she can do that too, sometimes. And then he puts his hands to his, shoulders, and then goes, "She usually does it with fire, though, not lightning."
With what?
Fire.
Oh, I see. I've got a friend that's a fire specialist. Oh, he's sort of he's just special. Burn, baby, burn.
Yes. So he sort of looks to the others. Do you have your ESP thing going? I'm assuming you do.
Usually always, especially in places like this.
Yeah. Keep bumping the mic.
Meaning new places.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll it, and we'll say you rolled it before you got on the boat.
Okay. Ah! Action point.
Yeah, might as well.
I now have 110 action points. I fat fingered it. Sorry, hold on. Is it a D6 for an action point?
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So with your ESP going, you see him look off towards the cot that is the cot that has the person, but there's no movement. And you see that he's looking over there, and he has this. It's a combination, like sadness and regret.
Okay.
But yeah. He sort of looks to you and then goes.
And he's looking at a particular bed.
Mhm.
And it's empty.
It's got a person in it, but it's still. The person in it is like they're a decent distance away from where you are compared to his. So either they're breathing very, very softly, or they're completely still.
Okay. She's gonna look at him and go. She's gonna look over at the bed and then look back at him and go, "Everything all right?"
Yeah.
You know them?
Oh, you mean, yeah.
I can't imagine you wouldn't. A place like this probably doesn't get too many visitors.
Yeah, they're just, they're a really close friend. Miss Woolachi says that they'll recover in time, but it's...
Waiting sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you say I take a look at them for you? Never hurts to get a second opinion.
He responds to your look with like this sort of more pleading thing. He doesn't really say anything.
Okay. Shiori's gonna make sure that he's okay, and like, alright, well, you sit tight, I'll be right back. And going to go over to that bed.
Okay.
So, what do I got?
Well, the bed is, or the person in the bed is almost completely covered, or well, is completely covered. You can choose to sort of investigate without getting too close, and without like removing the blanket, or you can just go straight into remove the blanket, take a look.
I mean, remove the blanket.
Okay. Treat injury.
Sure. 20. Oh god.
Wow. So looking this person over, the first thing that it registers, is this guy it's male, or at least appears to be male. He's quite a bit bigger compared to his buddy. Well, his buddy's a bug person, so of course they're small. But the sort of animal feature that you see that this guy has is he's just specifically to the back of his arms. You see the way that they're being held to his sides. The backs of his arms have a dense, like black fur, and his nails look more like claws than nails. But as far as his overall, like, appearance, his breathing is steady, but it is very slow, and he's unconscious. After seeing your encounters with like Io and whatnot, it's pretty easy for you to register that he's in some sort of roughly comatose kind of state.
Okay.
He's stable, but he's unconscious.
Okay.
And you, with a treat injury of 20, you can't really get a decent determining of what may have caused it. But you can get an idea that he's recovered enough to the point that he should be able to wake up in a couple days.
Okay.
So he's fine, it's a waiting game.
Right. Can I, how many, like, have I seen most of the people here?
In this room, yeah.
Okay. You're saying that like there's another one.
Well, there's more people on the boat.
Well, yeah, but I mean, are there more patients on the boat?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm out of patience. Shiori's going to go over to the bunny. I can't remember.
Woolachi.
Everyone has said her name, but I can't remember. What? Can you put it in the chat for me?
Yep. She just sort of looks you over as you come up to her. And, well, you work fast like I do, don't you?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just kind of get into a...
Me too.
Like a zone. What's going on with the one in the coma? What happened?
I'm actually not quite sure.
Oh.
It's not chakra induced, from what I can tell. And being that he never really left the boat that much, he wouldn't really encounter much chakra induced things anyway. But
Right.
something just knocked him out for a couple days. I haven't quite been able to figure out what that was.
I see.
And, you know, if... I'd have been rather impressed if you could have figured it out, but he's fine, and he is going to recover.
Yeah, he should wake up in a couple of days, but... I don't know, I was just trying to see if I could maybe speed it along somehow, but...
Yeah.
Excuse me for a moment. She's gonna go back over to the guy with the compound eyes.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna go, do you know what happened to him?
He shakes his head. 1 minute we were
Is
just...
he telling me the truth?
With your sense, do sense motive
Sense
with a
motive?
bonus
Okay.
of with a bonus of +2 because of your ESP thing.
Yeah, I gotta find my sense motive. Ugh. Not great. Alright, you said +2?
I think it's a +2 that you get from the thing.
Six.
Either +2 or +4. 13. Or 15.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me see if it's +4. Nah, it's +2.
Okay, fair enough. From what you can tell, both with your ESP and your sense motive roll, he believes that this is the truth. From all accounts, he is telling you the truth.
Okay.
So what he says is.
What is his truth? I said, what is his truth?
Yeah, his truth is. 1 minute we were just talking and like discussing combat tactics because I was going to be going out to just look on land, and he was giving me pointers. They want him here to help them with the boat. He's pretty strong, but they didn't bring him on this boat to fight. So he was giving me pointers to sort of help me to fight, and then I was just talking and spending time with him. The next thing I know, he passes out. So I don't know.
Well, you'll be happy to know he'll wake up in a couple of days. Unless I can find a way to shorten that time.
Okay.
Okay?
And then he sort of he looks you over a little bit more, and then he's. Are you staying here for that time? I heard that the boat was going to be leaving soon.
I'll stay as long as I can.
Okay.
I would very much like to see him wake up, though.
Okay. And then he just sort of nods at that. Miss Woolwich, he said that I needed to get more rest myself, so
That's a good idea.
I think I'm going to do that. And then he just sort of closes his eyes and lays down. And then the rabbit, Woolwich, is she looks at you and smiles. The people pleaser medic, I like it.
That's just how they taught me where I'm from.
Good to know.
It's kind of the way she looks down, she goes, it's kind of the way my mom did things. So, I don't know. I like to do them that way too.
Makes sense to me. Some people are better at it than others, that's all.
Do you think What's his name? The one in the coma.
I'll get back to you on that name. I forgot to look that up.
Okay.
I forgot to get one for that
That's
one.
fine.
But she does give it to you.
Yeah. She looks and says, do you think that you'd be willing to sort of... Do you think I could take him on as my patient while I'm here? I kind of have a soft spot for mysterious cases, and it gives me an excuse to stay.
She appears to really think about it for a second. Well,
Since I have slightly new information, can I make a new medicine check on him?
Sure.
Fuck! The dice do not want me being here like this. They do not want me playing God.
She seems to think about it for a second. She goes, well, we might be able to use that as leverage. Perhaps you could give us more information as to what might have happened, though I'm not entirely sure if whatever happened to him had anything to do with your continent, as it were.
Maybe and maybe not, but I don't have enough information just yet to figure out what's going on with him, but I think I have a few tricks up my sleeve to figure out what happened.
Okay. Can you roll for me d20 plus 2, charisma? Give me a charisma roll. With d20 plus 4. I'll give you a plus 2 bonus. Okay.
Oh, now you want to play along.
Alright. She gives you a smile. She goes, you know what? It might be a way to convince him that there's more to this place than he may think. And he did give me second in command on the boat next to I'm going to give you his name because I haven't done it yet. Now have fun pronouncing it. It's a fun one.
And Sintika.
Sintika. She gestures with her head and her ears towards the satyr, and she goes, and Sintika here seems to think that I have more diplomacy with the commander than he does. So, well, you do. He likes you better than he does me. It says the satyr. But there's obviously some sort of history there that you don't know the details of. But sort of, because you still have your ESP going. You pick up on a surface thought that that Wolochi seems to think that the commander listens to her listens to her input more for what she is rather than who she is and what she's capable of. It's like he pays attention to her and her desires because she is either because she's female or because she's a rabbit. Not quite sure which.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And at that point, you hear before you see it. And Achike is still there. Everyone that came in the room with you is still there. You hear this sort of echoey and tinny voice that sounds gruff and aggressive, and just goes, Achike! And Achike, like, spooks and bristles, and then looks to you, and then, Wolochi is... We might want to talk to him first before he sees you, otherwise he'll go off the deep end, so you might want to hide.
Oh boy.
So, do you want to hide, or do you want to try to, like, stick it out?
Can I... I said I wasn't going to try to stow away.
Right. You did.
Are there rafters in the room?
This is sort of below deck. So, yeah, I'd say there's... I mean, you've got plenty of places that you can choose to hide, if you want to hide.
Sure.
If you could jump and hide in the rafters if you want to do that. Or you could...
I mean, I could literally just walk up the wall. It's a wooden boat.
Or you could hide in the... like in one of the cots, because there are some cots that don't have anybody in them.
Yeah, I don't feel right about that.
Why don't you hide behind the giant ram man?
Or you could hide behind somebody. Or under one of the cots. I mean, you are like 5'4", so...
Yeah, no, everyone in this room is tall except for me and Achike. So, so Shiori's gonna stand kind of behind Sintika.
Okay.
Like out of the way, like out of sight.
As best you can.
I don't really have a, yeah, I don't really have any of the, like, chakra, like the spooky stuff for my, jutsu. But I will roll hide if need be.
You can. I'll give you a +2 on it from Syndico.
Okay. Nope.
Okay.
Best hide ever.
Alright. Well, be glad to know that at least for the first little bit, he's going to be more focused on Achike than on Syndico. So,
Okay.
he might not see you at first. But
He's definitely gonna fucking see me though.
that being said, because I am the fun DM, I am going to give you his description of him coming into the room, and then that's when the scene cuts back to Sumi.
Sure.
So you hear him before you see him, and he's you hear like a clinking. It's like armor. And you see this huge. We're talking like the reason this room the reason this ship is so big, and the reason this room even has raptors in the first place is because this guy's like 7.5 feet tall. He's huge.
Oh god.
Both in the overall height and muscles. This is a big, huge, muscly pound dude. He's easy 350, 340. Or 350, 360 in like weight. He's huge. He's his armor clinks when he moves because he's in like full on like battle armor. He looks kind of like a samurai, but not quite. His helmet's a little different. And also, strangely enough, he is in armor, but his chest and stomach is bare. He actually is broadcasting his biceps and pecs and all that mess, because why the heck not? And you see that his skin tone is somewhat dark. We're talking sort of like that dark olive kind of a color. And then as his skin actually changes color as it goes from his up his legs, and his chest itself actually changes in color. And you see through the armor that he's basically got bands of like pitch black skin tone. And then his chest and face is just like got this permanent dark shroud. You can't get any features to him at all other than size. And then in the helmet is these glowing orangish eyes. Yeah, he's a big, intimidating person. Speaking of Shiori, roll me a will save.
Will save. Dice, calm the.
Just relax.
You can roll an action point if you want.
No, I know. Ooh. Does the action point allow me to re-roll?
How many do you have?
Oh, I have 10.
I think we said that you take a chunk of action points as opposed to just one to do a full-on reroll. But
I don't know. No, I'll leave it. 16.
okay. He is incredibly like intimidating and terrifying. And just from hearing him and seeing him, you, Shiori, are currently shaken. This guy is terrifying.
Of course.
So, yeah. That's what the will save was for.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, we'll cut from Shiori to Shiori's just like sees this guy and is just like and then back to Tsume. For you, Tsume, Yone has, or Yone rather, Yone has succeeded in making for you a place for you guys to reside under the snow and dirt. And she comes up to meet you again, and then she's okay. So I have a place for us down underground. If you're willing to go down there.
I have a question.
Mhm.
How are we supposed to watch the boat?
It was my thought that the reconnaissance, the person going on the boat, was to confirm that. Yes.
But what if they need help?
I'll keep an eye out. But you said you're not very good at hiding.
I mean, I can hide, but there's like not real much to hide in under out here. But okay. Well, what will you have me do?
She basically she reaches out, and she does so in a way that she's clearly not. She's basically like putting her hand on your shoulder, but she's doing it in a way that if you want to shy away from it, you can.
Okay.
And she goes. She puts one hand on your shoulder, and then because you're still near Shima, she goes, "You hold the cat," or well, touch the cat, I guess.
I'll go and touch Shima.
And then she does like half hand signs with one hand, and then she goes, "Hold your breath for a second," as the three of you start to sink.
Sumi's gonna hold her breath.
It's not a long ways down.
Mm-hmm.
For the heck of it, you're good at it anyway. Give me a fort save.
Safe. What about Shima?
And Shima can too.
Okay. Oh, wow, my fort's really good.
Shima's isn't, but yours is.
14 for Tsume.
And watch Shima roll better.
A 9 for her.
Okay. So you guys go underground. It was a little bit further than you had anticipated. So you're sort of like coming up from air, from water, when you actually get there. And but you're fine. Shima, on the other hand, is very, very sort of rattled, but she's fine.
I'm just gonna hug Shima and just be like, it's okay.
But now the two of you are underground.
It's dark.
And she's there. Now you don't have to worry about hiding. I can keep an eye out up top.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to continue to keep an eye out, I got the sinking suspicion that the person that going on that boat's not just your teammate.
She's just like quiet, sitting there in the dark quietly. Like,
Also, it is somewhat darker in here, and it takes you a minute for your eyes to adjust. But now that since the room is somewhat small, ish, you're in somewhat closer proximity to her, and you see that she has a head. It's kind of hard to see in the dark, but she has a headband. And the headband that she's wearing is not one that you've seen before. I don't think. Do you even have ninja lore?
no.
Nope.
No, just streetwise.
Street. Yeah. So this is not a ninja that you've. The logo and symbol on the headband is not one that you've seen before. And also, it is sort of hard to see in the dark, but you also registered that, and this is something that, since you don't really have ninja lore, Sam would know partly what it means, but Tsume wouldn't necessarily. You see that her headband has a scratch through it, like a slash through it. She's missing-nin. She's went against her village, whatever her village was. Want to do a wisdom roll since you don't have sense motive? Based on that, seeing a strange headband.
Yeah, I don't even have sense motive, so it's just straight up wisdom.
Yep.
Oh boy. 21.
Nice. She seems, for all intents and purposes, you actually get the feeling that she's trustworthy. She's a little bit different than ninja that you've dealt with, and Tsume seems to feel like she's the type of woman that wants to go off and do her own thing, and doesn't really like to listen to a lot of people tell her what to do.
Okay.
She does seem to genuinely, want to help, want to scout out, want to do this mission that she's on. And seeing as how you felt that you couldn't really hide very easily in the snow, this was an actual genuine thing. She felt that hiding you underground would be better. But yeah, that Tsume just sort of gets the overall sensation of this lady does what she wants. This lady's trustworthy, and she's not going to hurt me, but she does what she wants. She gives you a look and looks between you and Shima and then goes, "Well, I told you my name."
Oh, I'm Tsume and this is Shima. And the one on the boat is Shiori.
You care about her, huh?
Yes. She is my teammate.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out. You hang out down here.
Okay. Just Sumi's just gonna sit there and like lean back against Shima, just like sit there.
And Shima just... I don't think Shima likes the enclosed space as much.
I'm not entirely, she's a little uncomfortable by it, but she's dealing with it.
I think Sume leaning up against her is helping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you sort of sit like that for a while. And then Yone goes up top to sort of scout again. And then give me a listen check.
Yeah. Oh, 22 for Sume's listen. And a 25 for Shima. Woo!
Nice.
They're getting better!
Yes, they are.
It would have been funny if it was 23, but...
You hear... you hear a great degree of movement, and it's like somebody running across the snow and the ground. Because you are underground, you get the sense that there's a lot of movement going on right above where you are. And
okay.
you also, because you rolled decently high, and Sume's not completely unknown to how weapons and things work, you hear the distinct sound of a arrow being notched in a bow.
No. Is everything okay?
You could theoretically get your way out.
I could try. It's like she just sits there for a moment trying to wait for an reply. Does anything happen?
Or don't hear any response.
If there's... Wait, so there's a lot of footsteps and then a knocking of a weapon.
Notching of an arrow above, yeah. Shima hears it too, and she's like, shouldn't we, like, charge up there?
Well, I mean, I don't want to exactly give us away, but
Can't really
if we
help
hear the
from here.
bow... Yeah, I know, but if we hear the bow fire, that, you know, boom sound, then we can try to dig our way out. I don't know how far down we are, though.
Okay. Shima sort of just stands there and listens.
And so does Sume, just like sitting there, just like listening.
And it's interesting. You expect that you expect when somebody like notches a bow that they spend like maybe 3 or 4 seconds in aim, and then
Yeah.
it takes a full, like, it takes like twice that before you hear any kind of, and then you do hear the sound of the arrow being released, and there is a very I guess sharp would be the best word, because it's not heavy, it's just clearly present. There is a sharp, like, thud sound from up top.
Does she come back underground?
You remain there for. You continue to remain there after hearing that. And
I mean, she's gonna start digging, but she's not gonna dig like too urgently. She's gonna start digging like up.
Yeah. And as you start to make your way through there, because you're not doing it as a means to. You're trying not to destroy her little hole.
Yeah.
So, as you're trying to make your way to get out, she does eventually make her way back down to you. And she's like, sorry.
What was that?
Yeah, you know what? Just grab your tiger friend. And she goes to grab
Shima.
goes to grab you to pull you both back up.
I look around frantically, even though it's probably blinding from the light hitting out the snow.
Do what?
Sume is looking around, but her eyes hasn't adjusted from the darkness to the light that's coming off of the bright snow.
Yeah. As you do, come back up.
Oh no.
So, you come up, and you see that, it's a hawk person, or at least a person with hawk wings. And he is, like, Sume doesn't have any degree of, like, medical knowledge, but
Nope.
she has been around Shiori enough, and in such situations to have seen it. This guy is unconscious.
Okay. Do I see the bolt that would be the arrow that would have been used by the?
You see a you actually don't see the arrow sitting in him, but you see a rudimentary like bandage that's very thrown together, but it's like a rudimentary bandage over his shoulder, and he's clearly been wounded by some form of something, but you don't see the arrow at all. And then Yone looks at you and goes, he's fine. He should be fine. I didn't, like, kill him or anything, but I figure...
Why'd you attack him?
He came to me first.
So he spot you?
He was looking for me, okay? I don't like people looking for me.
So you could have just ducked underground, or moved slightly out of his way.
Look, after the amount of people that's come from that boat, and the battles that I've already been through, I didn't want to deal with it this time. I figured I'd better shoot at him before he saw me.
Now we just jeopardize Shiori on the boat. Because you just injured someone.
Like I said, he's fine. He'll wake up in a little bit.
Okay.
It's also worth noting, Tsume, that you only heard the bow notch once and fire once. If she shot him once and he's down, either he's incredibly weak to go off scouting on his own, or that was one hell of a shot.
Yeah. How do you know he was looking for you?
He was scouting around. I know a scout when I see one.
Yes, scouting around, because all of a sudden someone that was sitting in clear view of the boat, of bright orange, just disappeared.
Okay, so he was looking for you. It's your fault, not mine.
We don't know. We don't know whose fault it is at the moment. But we know what fault it is you open fire on someone who is just scouting. This is why we have a problem. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Oh, I do.
We show up, it's like, we show up, they attack us and stuff, and we just, or they sit there and stuff and just doing their own things, and all of a sudden we attack them. That's not gonna get anything fixed.
Okay. So, I might have been down a lot. But, clearly, the people on that boat have a decent medic among them. So...
Yeah, they have our best medic up there too.
Oh, so she was a medic, huh?
Yes.
Then she can fix him when she gets back.
That is... I guess Sumi's just gonna kneel down and kind of like poke him. Just like...
Just like poke at him.
Yeah.
He's like getting closer to him. Sume's able to tell that he's still breathing. But he's just like out. It's like, it's very much akin to that time when you saw, or at least it makes you think of those moments, that one time when you saw Sora punch Ikemoga through the wall. It's just, this guy just clearly didn't have the kind of endurance that Ikemoga did to not remain conscious.
Yeah.
This guy looks like he got hit by a freaking freight train.
Alright, can I kind of look under to see if it was like pierced through?
Sure.
Just like move them slightly.
Looking around with it, you don't see like it pierced through or anything.
Like, how?
His wound is covered. His wound is like bandaged. So.
Yeah, it is. But I'm just saying, it's like if anything important, if anything, like if he actually needs to get stitches or something. But I don't know. So I'm not a medic. Nope.
But if you're looking for the arrow, it's nowhere to be found. And it's clearly not sticking in him. And you can't really see the wound, but the wound is like wrapped all around his shoulder. So,
and it's the wrap isn't like getting all bloodied or anything.
It's wound, the wound did bleed quite a bit, and it's there, but the bleeding does sort of appear as if it stopped. You also notice that since he is a bird person, and he was shot in the shoulder, he does appear to be missing a feather or four.
Okay. You stay there. Okay.
She just sort of raises an eyebrow. If you're looking
So
for my
it's just-
arrow, it's long gone.
What do you mean long gone?
When I
Was
fire
it an ice arrow?
No. When I fire
What?
an arrow, it goes. It's probably out there in the sea somewhere.
So it went through and through.
Yeah, kinda. That's what it does.
Okay, yeah, just stay there. Try not to fire at anyone. Sume's gonna go and, like, kind of pick him up,
Okay.
and then go closer towards the boat.
Okay.
Because she's like, this guy needs some medical attention, I'm just gonna go take him back. Just like,
Alright.
eh.
So do we have a Shiori?
We do. This will go well.
So cutting back to Shiori,
Yes.
this guy is absolutely terrifying.
Mhm.
You are shaken, you are, like, this guy is a beast.
Who? Oh, you don't say.
Huh?
I said, oh, you don't say.
And,
I'm both full animal people. This guy's a beast.
considering what is running through his veins to make him yeah, that's funny that you say that. Anyway, so he just looks over everyone in the room. He's focused on Ajike at the moment. And he's good. You made it back, finally. Now, as soon as our other scout makes his way, wait a minute, and then he spies you.
Uh-oh.
Septica, move. Ram, it is like visibly bristled and a little. He's being very defiant, but he's clearly been in presence of this guy before, obviously. But
Right.
he's, sir, if I may, she is here to help. Really, a ninja from out there meant to help. Yes.
Can I respond while I'm shaken?
Oh yeah, you're just terrified.
Okay.
Well, you're not
She's
terrified,
gonna
you're just, like, shaken.
Right. I'm just kind of like nervous.
Mhm.
She's gonna he's gonna take a breath and say, I do want to help.
You know our language.
I learned, Ajike taught me while we were,
So our assassin's got a string of trust in her, does she? Sir, and this is Ajike. Sir, we don't have all the information that we need. And I've already heard from some of the others that just in walking around and listening to everybody, we're running low on supplies. You can't keep sending people out there only for them to either get captured, not find anything, or get hurt.
What sort of supplies are you looking for? She's trying to focus on Ajike and
Yeah.
not on the boss.
Yeah. We need more medicine for those that are hurt. We need to regroup at home. And we need more food. And then Sendika, the Ram, pipes up. And as Ajike mentioned, we need more information. This mission that we're on is not what you think it is, sir. I was told what to do from our ruler back home. I'm sure she knows what she's doing. And then the other two are silent. And then eventually Ajike sort of chimes up with, but we do need to regroup at home. You did say that. And we can't very well let, and she gestures to Shiori, we can't very well let her go back home with what she's found, can we?
Oh, that sounds suspiciously like you're gonna put me in prison. Look, you know that wasn't me, right?
Do what?
that put her in.
Ajike's just coming up with a means to, like, keeping this guy from trying to destroy you.
Right, but it sounds like, on the surface, it sounds like she's telling them that we need to put me in jail so that I don't tell anybody anything.
If it keeps you on the boat and it keeps you safe.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Cages and I don't agree.
This is why you and Ajike have a kinship.
Exactly.
Tsume is just trudging through the snow outside carrying a body, just like probably taller than she is.
You're dealing with that actually at this current point in the timeline. Yone has just really started to try to focus on the scout and is just sort of eyeing him as he's flying and scouting around. She hasn't even notched her bow yet.
Great.
for purposes of timeline. So, eventually Wulachi chimes up and sort of looks to the big guy, the big commander dude, and Tsume or Shiori, you catch a glimpse that sure Ajike and Sendika are a little bit taken aback by big commander's aggression.
Mm-hmm.
But Wulachi's just not phased at all. Like,
yeah, another Tuesday. This idiot.
Huh?
No, just... Go ahead, sorry.
So Wulachi just chimes up with, okay, look. She's a good medic. I've seen her do it. She was looking around through everyone around here and seems to be a very caring sort. You know that Ajike is a good judge of character, if Achike can find anyone in that village to trust, I would hope that you would be willing to listen to reason. Don't hurt the girl. Don't put her in some sort of prison. That's not even needed. You just need to calm down, relax, and big guy's just look. We need to return home anyway. Are you comfortable riding this boat back to our home, little one?
She kind of like nods.
Okay. Then we can go back. And then Syndicare pops up. And what of the scout that you just said earlier that you sent out that way? And the commander guy just sort of he puts his hands across his chest and looks to Achike. And he says, you seem to think that there are those out there that don't see us as an immediate threat. And she sort of just, yeah, but she looks over the medical ward, and she goes, there was clearly a couple fights here before. Let's go see what we can find up top. And we'll go from there. We need to be leaving soon, though. And then they head to the top of the boat. Tsume, or Shiori, do you go with? Or well, he does.
Yeah.
He does. Woolachi stays down in the medical ward. And then Achike.
Shiori's gonna look at her and say, I'm gonna go help them look for the scout. Maybe I can take a look at whatever stores we have and see if I can figure out something to help with that as well.
You do that. That was
Okay.
pretty impressive, though.
What do you mean?
She looks towards some of the other patients in the room, particularly like the one compound eye guy that you talked to before.
Right.
And she goes, most of the smaller folks around here, he sends them running.
I'm used to being the small one around and having to, be able to fight like the bigger dogs. It's not easy being 12 years old in a surgery ward
I imagine not.
and working circles around, well, or I'm sorry, she's 14 and she just became a ninja, so that wouldn't be the case. She'd be like, yeah, it's hard being 14 and working circles around our best surgeons, so.
Really?
Maybe slight exaggeration, out of character, but.
Maybe more will come from you hanging around here for a while than just helping out. And then she says the name of the guy that I don't have a name for yet.
Okay.
With your ESP still going, you see that she has a degree of respect for you.
For me?
Yeah, she likes you.
Senpai noticed me.
Something like that.
Sorry.
Alright.
Okay.
So, Shiori, or, not Shiori, Tsume. Tsume, you're going to the, going towards the boat. And, Tsume you see, like, even before you're looking up, you're looking towards the boat, and you see this tall, dark figure. And it's actually just getting to like sunset sort of a time. It's sort of getting dark outside. And the way the sun hits, you can get the hint that there's some sort of armor on this guy, and he's just this based on distance and size comparison. Your best guess is this guy's huge. He's like, exaggeration from Tsume's imagination, he's like 9 feet tall. He's huge. And he's in armor, and he sees you off the edge of the boat carrying this hawk person.
Yep. Like, oh, this looks so bad.
Let me check something right quick. Yeah. Tsume, give me a wisdom roll. Just straight wisdom.
Oh. Straight. 17.
Not bad. Will save.
Oh. My will's not bad. Nope.
Oh. Okay.
Do I need to do one for Shima?
For Shima, she can do the will save, but she doesn't need to do the wisdom roll.
Okay. Come on.
Nice. Okay. So,
New dice.
Tsume, you see this guy up on the top of the boat, and he, just from this distance, best guess with your imagination and size, this guy is terrifying. And if it not for Shima, who helps to keep you stable and like half catches him, you'd have ended up dropping the bird guy into the water.
Can I get him out? It's cool.
But she helps, and you aren't, as messed up. But this guy scares you. It's like you've seen ogres, you've seen all sorts of crazy crap when you were dealing with Misu. This guy is just straight up terrifying.
Ah. Okay.
And then after he gets there first, Shiori, you and Tsume, or you and the rest of them get up top. So you see Tsume in the water, clearly terrified, with Shima and a bird person, an unconscious bird.
I'm trying to get it out of the water so he doesn't freeze.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good thing to know. The water is freaking cold.
Yeah.
No, I was originally just going to stand on the beach and start shouting at the boat.
Well, I think what it was.
But now
is,
I'm just going.
I think it was like a wave came up from the sea itself, and would have, when you dropped him into the sand and water. So you're like here, just at the edge of the water. And then you look behind you in your terrified state, and Miss Payne has disappeared into the snow.
That's fine. I told her to stay there.
So he looks down at you, and then Tsume, you and the rest of the others get up top. Using your ESP, since you're still close, Achike gets a very sort of the emotion you pull from her is like worry and scared, because you now have Tsume trying to carry this scout who's unconscious.
Okay.
And the big guy is just
Shiori is
the big commander's just staring Tsume down.
So it's just like, I found him.
Shiori's going to jump from the boat to Tsume using like leap to the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can't do because I've got the ruler. There we go. Yeah, so she's just gonna jump over here. What happened?
He fell from the sky and stuff, and
Okay.
I can help.
Yeah, let me take him. I'll make sure he gets fixed up.
Okay, I mean he's bandaged up. I just don't know how well.
Right. Well, there's a medic on the boat, and I'm on the boat, so. Tsume,
just, like,
listen.
looks up at the guy like,
Shiori kind of like guides her face back to her, so she's like looking at her instead of at him. She says, Tsume, listen. They're. This is really hard because I just got you back, but they're going back to their home. And I'm going with them.
why I thought you were just getting on the boat to find out information. What?
There's an opportunity here to find out more about what's going on and to show them that we're not all just out to attack them. I can speak with them. I can help them, and I just need. I need you to know that I'm going with them.
Okay.
Okay?
By the way, your fear is so bad, Tsume, that you do continually try to look back and stare at him. Because if you don't, you get this impression that like he's going to like pop out of the shadows and attack you. So you're just like, I gotta keep an eye on him.
Yeah, because, I brought back an injured scout for them.
Would this be like something that? No, I guess not. I was gonna say, can I like dispel her or something? I don't have anything that can. I don't have anything that can fix that. I have stuff that can cause that, but I don't have anything that can fix that.
You haven't actually seen anyone that's been. Most of the time, this kind of fear is genjutsu and sort of chakra induced.
Right. I think I'd want to like attempt to, but also I can probably sense that it's not chakra induced. So.
Exactly. Yeah. This kind of fear is generally chakra induced, but this one's not. This one just seems just to be straight up.
Alright. So she's gonna try for a moment, and then she's gonna go, Tsume, I need to know that you're listening.
I'm trying.
Okay. Listen. I don't know how far it's gonna be, and I don't know when I'll be back. But I promise I'll come back.
I'm not allowed to come after you.
I don't think they're gonna want you on the boat.
I said after you find a boat.
After. Oh.
Well,
That's gonna be really
you came after
dangerous.
me after it disappeared.
I know, that's why I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just telling you it's going to be very dangerous if you try. I just don't want you to get hurt. Okay. Hold on.
Shiori?
Look at me.
What?
Yes.
Before this, or like right in around this moment of all this, Shiori, give me a spot check.
Oh boy, all of the spots. You wanna roll with the +5? Yes, you do. Hold on. Oh, good, it is a +5. Fuck me. 16?
16. Okay. You can continue. You notice something though.
Okay, you're gonna type it to me?
Yep.
Cool.
Is there no way I can
Sure
sit
is-
there and try to roll again to get over my fear? Because now it's just like, she's going to an island away.
Also, I'm like intentionally trying to snap her out of it.
You can roll another will save at +4 on top of what your normal will is.
Sweet. Yes! 25!
Okay, he's still freakishly terrifying, but you don't feel
No,
like you
it's
have to
just like-
stare at him over and over now.
Now I'm in protective mode, and just like, I want to sit there and glare at him, it's just, I think it's a bad idea.
Uh-oh. Alright. Yeah, so Shiori goes, Tsume, look at me.
Okay.
Okay. I will come back to you. Okay? Even if you don't follow me. But I need you to go home, or at least back to the Patakage.
Trust him.
I
I'm
need
pointing to the
I know
guy.
you don't trust anyone. I know that.
No, I
need
do
you to
trust
go back to
people,
the
I do.
Pataka- Look at me.
I
need you to go
am.
back to the Patakage. I need you to go warm and dry off. Okay? And don't shoot any more scouts.
I didn't shoot him.
I know you didn't. It's okay.
I don't have anything to shoot with. You don't
I
have
don't
weapons.
think you could have hit it. I don't think you could have hit this clean anyway.
Oh no, that's the, I'm just offended.
No, come on, clean's not your thing, hon. She's gonna kiss Sume.
Mm.
Alright, go on. And she's also gonna kiss Shima on the top of the head. You guys go.
She just like, she looks up at the guy and just like, just be like, I'm watching you kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Too bad, I already did it.
Oh boy.
You do
She's
that.
trying to be brave, but it's obvious that there's no way.
You do that, and the fear that he had flown through you earlier just spikes at you.
Mm. Okay.
It's basically there's some sort of something there that was just like, oh, I know you're faking that.
Mm.
Alright.
I guess I'm gonna like start heading back to where Miss Archer went. Just head over in that direction.
Alright.
Alright. Shiori's gonna take him and lightning teleport up to an empty space where she's not gonna hit anybody else on the boat.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
So just pop somewhere in here.
Want to do treating injury on Birdman?
Yeah, once I get him up on the boat.
Roll your treat injury.
Roll. Or somewhere. 37.
Oh, yeah. So, a couple things. One, the force of whatever it was that hit him, is incredibly powerful. Like, there was a lot of power that was behind whatever it was that hit him. Do you remove the bandage or anything, or do you just sort of give him a cursory look over?
No, of course I'm gonna take the bandage off and look what's going on.
Oh yeah, okay.
He is bleeding, so I have to check on like the status of the wound.
Yeah. It is clean through.
Ooh.
There seems to be around where you can get the idea that it's some sort of piercing something that hit him. Even with your knowledge of ninja lore, it strikes you as it could have been some sort of arrow, maybe, but the entry point left a like bruise on the front of it that seems like it was an arrow that was, if it was an arrow, it had a much larger tip than most arrows should. So when this wound recovers, there's going to be a bruise.
Okay.
You rolled high enough to register that that bruise is probably very akin to the other bruises that you saw on the other people on the boat.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It pierced, and it was like an arrow, but it was a blunt force trauma. You also register that sorry, Tsume, but have you ever tried moving someone who's wounded? It's usually not a good idea.
Yeah, I know, but still. It's just like, we can't deal with this if they see both of us here.
So, this guy is currently bleeding out. He's like on the verge of dying.
Now hold the fuck on.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to have forgotten one thing, my friend. I'm a goddamn magician.
You are.
Third rank healing, and it's like a +6 mastery. So, target healed at the rate of 1d8 plus 3 hit points per minute. Technique may not heal target whose hit points are lower than 0. Specialist of 1 or higher heals the target every 5 rounds. Specialist of 7 or higher heals the target every round.
That was the significant something that I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
He's dying. In context of D20, dying means your hit points are below 0.
Okay, so let me see if I have stabilize. Even if I can't, I should be able, like with a 34 or whatever I rolled, shouldn't I be able to stabilize him with a heal check?
In theory, yeah. You can at least stop him from bleeding out anymore. You also have another medic on board, perhaps.
Right, right.
But with you're going to be able to probably keep him from dying. You're gonna he won't officially die, but you're not able to necessarily bring him to consciousness or actually heal him right now. And as you're on the boat up top to do that, Achike sees the guy and sees you come back holding him and looking him over, and she immediately goes down towards what you would assume is the medical ward.
Right.
The commander is still looking off towards the beach where Tsume was, and Sentaka, the ram, he comes over to you and he's, any idea what went down? That was your friend, right?
Yeah, she said he fell out of the sky. She didn't say that anything happened. This looks like some kind of blunt force wound, but it went all the way through him, so whatever hit him was heavy and flat on the end.
That sounds
I don't know.
familiar.
He could have been impaled by something, but if he fell out of the sky, it happened while he was flying.
There's
And these bandages, Tsume doesn't know how to do this. Not that well, anyway.
it should be noted that it isn't all that well.
No, but I mean, like, even
Yeah.
she knows how well Tsume bandages stuff.
Because she always goes to Shiori and be like, "Can you fix this?"
Exactly. Like, Tsume doesn't bandage things. I do.
Yeah, it is a touch better than what Tsume does. You also get on, not the bandage itself, but sort of the very rudimentary, sling sort of concept that was used to try to help keep the wing out of the way. It doesn't look like any sort of cloth material that you've encountered. Not from... It looks like something that was made by someone that's not from your village. You don't recognize it.
Okay.
But yeah. It's very clear that whoever made this rudimentary bandage did it only slightly better than Tsume would have. But it's not Tsume that did it, clearly.
Sure.
Can you help him?
I'm doing what I can right now. I need Wachi to come up here.
Ask and you shall receive, says the bunny lady as she gets there.
Oh, good. He's bleeding bad. I need a hand here.
Okay. Do we know? And she's saying it as she goes into medical mode to look over him. And, right. It's the same stuff as before.
Yeah, I noticed the bruising on some of the others.
Okay. I'll give them credit. Whoever's out there that is doing these sorts of attacks, they're good. But
Let's not praise whoever is impaling our friends.
yeah, let's not do that. And she does.
At least not until later.
She does some hand gestures. Sume or Shiori, roll for me. I guess both ninjutsu and ninja lore. Ninja lore first.
Okay. Ninja lore first.
Not bad.
15.
Now ninjutsu.
And then what else? Ninjutsu?
Yep.
I think that's a 17.
Should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
20. Oh my god, come on.
Yep. Okay. So, whatever healing technique she's doing, you see that it's
whatever healing technique. Is a 20 not high enough?
a 20's high enough for you to know that it's one that you don't know. And 15 tells you that it's a much higher up advanced technique that you haven't learned yet. So clearly present from here, her medical prowess is better than yours. Or at least higher than yours. And she does her hands over his wound just like any other medical thing. And she actually repairs the like full-on impaled exit entry wound that he had. It just like repairs itself instantly. It's like a Wolverine healing factor up in here. It's just
awesome.
And then his breathing steadies, and he's still unconscious at the moment, but his wound isn't bleeding. She just sort of haphazardly removes the sort of crappy looking bandages away, and his bleeding is completely stopped. And he looks a lot like the other people that were downstairs in the medical bay. He's fine. He doesn't have any visible wound on him. He's just unconscious and has a massive bruise on his shoulder.
Okay.
Because she was focusing on the wound itself rather than the bruising and all the crap around it.
Right.
Because that can heal with time. And then she... I keep having to do that. Way too much. It's a bit draining.
I can imagine. This is the last one that was out, then we should probably get offshore a little bit so whatever's doing this can't keep doing it.
And another, it's actually the tiger, the cat, tiger-y looking person. She pipes up, she's female, and she pipes up and she goes, well, we only ever get shot whenever anybody goes flying out there, or goes out there. Not when we're here on the boat, but yeah, we need supplies anyway.
Yeah. How many people here eat meat, or at least fish?
I'll say that we just need, this is Willow Cheese still, and she's tired, and in her state in the ESP, you get the sense that it's a bit too much from her. She needs to rest. It's like she's a bit too tired to really even answer your question.
Right, okay.
And Sintika pops up and, well, I think the commander's getting ready to get this boat to start sailing. So, I guess you can find a place to get comfortable. Shiori, was it?
Yes. Wait, would you say she's fatigued?
She is indeed.
She is? I can fix that.
Gotta show off now.
She's gonna, like, is she like getting up to leave then?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as she's getting up to leave, Shiori's just gonna touch her arm, because I can autocast this.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna last about 10 minutes, but it's a fort save if she wants to make one, but yeah, I'm gonna use vigor on her.
Okay. She visibly just sort of straightens up and just looks at you and gives you a smile. Thanks. That'll help.
Yeah, for a little bit. You should probably still find some place to lay down, but at least it won't be so.
Another medical on board would be helpful for the trip home, that's for sure.
I bet.
What was your question earlier again?
Do enough people on the ship eat fish?
Oh, of course.
Or do all of them eat fish?
Most of us do eat and enjoy fish and meat and things like that.
Okay.
I mean,
maybe I'd do some fishing once we get into warmer waters.
Yeah, might be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry I was out of it before, but
No, it probably takes a lot out of you to do that. I'm not even anywhere near there.
and then she goes to go down into the ship. And I think that's where we'll end it for Shiori, at least, if Tsume wants to have any sort of confrontation with Yane again. That's up to you, Sam.
No,
Not really.
not really.
Okay. Are you going out into the snow to try to find her, or are you heading to,
She was heading to the last place that she saw her.
okay. When you arrive back to where she is, we sort of cut to you for a second, and we arrive back to where you last saw her. You don't see her. She appears to have retreated back underground. You go to where, like, your place that she had designated as the little hidey hole, and we probably see you, like, stomping in the snow around and being like, hey, hey, or something like that, but you don't really get a response out of her.
Ooh. Sume's not too happy right now.
I don't doubt it. Alright.
Well then, she is going to start heading back to the village then. As fast as she can.
You gonna, pull your quadruped charge?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, no, I have to... I'm a lot faster than Shima, so I have to sit there and keep pace with her, so...
Okay. I mean, Shima
only gets like 40 feet. I can get upwards to like 100. Like
right, if
50,
you go into a full-on charge run, you can. You could pop...
I'll probably just pop my speed and just like...
Yeah, you could pop your speed rank.
Stay next to her.
Yeah. Okay. You're moving faster, but you're keeping pace with her.
Yes.
Alright. Okie dokie. So, we'll end it there. I think at this point is good enough to say that the next Naruto session I will do will probably be separate little segments.
Yep.
Yay.
This is going to be a sign out that's going into a split character arc, so this should be fun. This has been Naruto: A New World. I kind of want to join us next time from both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us next time when I give the captain a checkup, because I'm gonna do it.
Join us next time when I sit there and try to hunt for that scout ninja to ask some questions.